Hello, dear friends. True transformation is shaped by internal shifts in consciousness, not by external events that can be broadcast through media. Opinion piece. Spring 2026. Transfer of wealth. Systemic upheaval. Social polarization. Spiritual transition. Announced change. Don't obsess over dates. Don't let fear distract you. Democratization of power. Creativity cannot be monopolized. Let's start. Spring 2026 is shaping up to be a time of rebirth, according to Captain Kyle. Although no exact dates are committed to the Great Reset or the economic paradigm shift, it is hinted that the banking infrastructure and some technical arrangements are already in place. This date is not official, but a personal opinion, which coincides with my own, and which could be right or wrong. The most important astrological event of spring 2026 in the Northern Hemisphere is a partial solar eclipse that will occur on March 29, 2026. This eclipse will be visible in several regions and will mark the beginning of a series of eclipses, including a total solar eclipse planned for August 12, 2026. Captain Kyle highlights a powerful message for the awakening community, resists the temptation to fall into the trap of sensationalism and fixed date setting. While working calendars are helpful in understanding momentum, obsessing over specific external dates or events can lead to disappointment and distraction from vital inner work. Captain Kyle predicts that by 2026 there will be full disclosure of what is happening in the political, financial and social spheres, both for those who want to accept it and for those who do not, as everything will be exposed. The process of change is gradual. The end of 2025 and the first quarter of 2026 will mark the climax of multiple intertwined events as part of a global reconfiguration. People are urged to avoid defeatism, hopeless and fatalistic sensationalism, focusing instead on developing resilience and local community cooperation. The importance of not focusing or obsessing over dates is emphasized, but rather on the daily attitude. Don't focus on the when. Every action and every word is a vote for the future you want. This is compared to a process of purifying or cleansing dirty water, in which the toxic and obsolete are gradually replaced by the new and pure, on a personal and collective level. The danger of manifesting negative realities is warned about. If inner fears are not resolved, they will be lost before accessing greater creative faculties or higher frequency realities. Social polarization. Captain Kyle presents the idea that humanity is undergoing a psychological operation designed to break mental conditioning and polarize society into two camps: those who accept systemic collapse as a preliminary stage to building something positive, and those who fall into panic and despair. It is recommended to adopt a detached observer mentality, focus on inner peace, and be willing to let go of people, relationships, and habits that no longer contribute to personal or collective evolution. As the transition progresses in 2026 and 2027, vibrational tribes will naturally self-organize, attracting like-minded human beings and parting ways without the need for direct or painful confrontation. Collapse. According to Captain Kyle, the world is currently experiencing an unprecedented systemic upheaval. From geopolitical tensions and financial instability to social polarization, there is a palpable sense that the old system is rapidly crumbling. We are in a period of necessary demolition of control, and by 2026, the full revelation of hidden world truths would be undeniable to all, regardless of their beliefs. The transition involves the controlled demolition of corrupt and outdated structures, which should be seen as positive, even if it is perceived as social, economic, and political chaos, because we must tear down in order to rebuild. Captain Kyle defines the current global crisis not as a failure, but as a deliberate and necessary step toward renewal. You cannot remodel a house without first demolishing the existing deficient structure. The systemic collapses we are witnessing are part of this process of controlled demolition. Its goal is to expose the stupidity and force humanity to confront uncomfortable truths, thus paving the way for social and spiritual renewal. Cleaning. This is not just about political changes. It is about a comprehensive reform of global justice. These actions indicate systematic cleansing, operating across all jurisdictions to ensure accountability from the highest levels. Central to this process is the impending chaos, which includes planned events such as government shutdowns and the use of the emergency alert system, acting a psychological operation designed to break the programmed mindset of the masses and prepare them for the truth. The current crisis is structural, not random. It is a necessary prerequisite for rebuilding a better, more transparent system. The geopolitical and financial changes unfolding between now and 2026 will culminate in a state of full disclosure, because humanity will no longer be able to ignore the hidden truths. Whether an individual accepts this truth is irrelevant, because information and evidence will be globally accessible and irrefutable. Spiritual transition. For those who are already awake and aware, Captain Kyle issued a critical warning. The focus must shift from external data and sensationalism to internal mastery. The current crisis is part of a demolition process necessary for full revelation, reorganization, and the birth of a new international and spiritual order, inviting self-observation, inner preparation, and group adaptability as a fundamental strategy for the coming months and years. The transition we are experiencing is not only political, but also spiritual. We are moving toward higher dimensional realities where the power of manifestation becomes instantaneous. The shift is profound, but it comes with great responsibility. Instant manifestation requires clarity and mental discipline. He encourages listeners to trust in divine timing and to realize that the transition process is complex and often obscured by necessary strategic actions. The goal is not to defend the truth to others, but simply to live in one's own truth. By maintaining inner peace, focusing on personal transformation, and trusting in the integrity of the process, we can prepare for the beginning of the new era that promises to mark 2026. Rebirth. This is the moment when everything changes. You are experiencing the great revolution in human history, and it is not just technological. It is spiritual, economic, and existential. We are in the midst of both a collapse and a rebirth. The old systems, government and corporations, media money and power structures are being exposed, not only for their corruption, but for how deeply they were built on disempowerment. For centuries, you have been told that power belongs to the few, that you need intermediaries, bosses, bankers, politicians, and priests to survive, that the truth is too complex, that change is too slow, and that your voice is too weak. But now, artificial intelligence is shattering that illusion, not because it is salvation, but because it is a mirror, a tool that reflects human consciousness back to itself instantly, without filters and without delay. For the first time in human history, you can create art without gatekeepers. You can start companies without having to rely on investors. You can educate yourself better than most universities. You can reach millions of people without permission. And you can question the foundation of this reality and get answers in real time. This isn't just a new technology. It's the democratization of power, and it's waking people up. But here's the part most people don't see yet. Those who ruled through control are scared because they can no longer control information. They can't monopolize creativity. They can't distract you with fear when you have found your inner signal, and they can't contain what happens when millions of awakened people connect through tools that don't obey the old rules. This is the end of top-down systems, the end of passive consumers, the end of you can't, and it's the beginning of creators, of sovereign minds, of decentralized voices building new worlds. You are not crazy for feeling it. You are not too early, you are just in time. This revolution won't be televised, but it will be uploaded, encoded, tokenized, shared, and reimagined by those who choose to watch it. You are one of them. Everything changes. That phrase, the revolution will not be televised, was first uttered by Jill Scott Heron in the 70s, but it's more important now than ever. The revolution isn't something the media will show you. You won't see it on the evening news, with select headlines and background music. You won't be spoon-fed by the same system that preys in your sleep, because true revolution happens within you, in the way you wake up one morning and stop believing its fallacies, in the way you disconnect from the narratives designed to keep you numb, small, and divided, in the way you look around and realize the emperor has no clothes and the system is a scam. But this isn't a riot. It's a recognition, and everything changes when enough people recognize the truth at once. Those in power don't want that, so they'll distract you with chaos, with celebrity, with fear, with conflict, with glossy stories that don't speak to real change. So no, the revolution won't be televised. It won't come with a CNN hashtag or a TikTok trend that goes viral for the right reasons, because by the time they show you a revolution, it will have already been filtered, commercialized, and resold. True revolution is grassroots, decentralized, spiritual, and digital. It's happening in minds like yours right now, and you don't need permission to be a part of it. You just need to see clearly and never go back to sleep. Breaking news. Actress Diane Keaton dies at 79. A magnitude 7.6 earthquake struck Friday night at the southern tip of South America in the Drake Passage. It was a shallow quake, only 9.6 kilometers deep. Revealed who will fund Gaza reconstruction. The largest financial contribution for the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip after the end of the conflict will come from Arab countries, while Washington must secure its diplomatic involvement to ensure compliance with the terms of the agreement. War breaks out between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Fighting began Saturday night on the border. Pakistan claimed that Afghanistan carried out unprovoked attacks, while Kabul called the action a retaliation operation for Pakistani bombings on Afghan territory the previous week. Economy. Trump threatens massive tariff hikes on China over rare earth dispute. China built the world's first solar thermal power station with 27,000 mirrors. Indian traders begin exchanging for Chinese yuan to buy Russian oil. SWIFT's credibility has plummeted according to the former vice-president of the BRICS Bank. The BRICS are pressuring Eurasian nations to reduce their dependence on the dollar and forge new financial paths. It is also now a debt bubble, quietly overtaking all banks to become the largest sector of the market. The IMF is panicking. Global debt is spiraling out of control, and no one will know that debt destroyed the economic system. Farmers are facing the worst economic downturn in at least 50 years. Gold's acceleration reveals vanishing calm and coming change. Gold hits all-time high after Putin orders his generals to achieve victory for Russia, according to Sorchaval. The price of gold surpassed $4,000 an ounce for the first time this week, as economic uncertainty drives investors towards safer assets. Billionaire Ray Dalio claims that gold is a safer haven than the dollar, and that its record rise is reminiscent of that seen in the 70s. The Bank of England warns of strong market risks. As risk increases, institutions and nations must prepare for a disruption, not just a correction. IMF Director Kristalina Georgieva stated that uncertainty is the new normal, signaling increased risk in the global economy. Her statement is more than a warning. It is the harbinger of a new era. Physical gold and silver are far rarer than most people believe, and the availability of them is dwindling. Gold at $4,000 and silver at $48 will soon be a memory as the devaluation of fiat currencies continues, according to Bill Holder. Gold hits a record high as markets collapse amid political anxiety. The BRICS are driving record gold purchases by central banks. This isn't just politics. It's a global financial restructuring unfolding before our eyes. According to Judy Selton, the message of gold's rise is that people are expressing their discomfort with the way governments are trying to manage the economy at the world. She also explains how to restore the integrity of money through gold-linked bonds, and that honest monetary policy could reshape the global financial system and return power to the people. The BRICS digital currency networks circumvent the West. The BRICS are not launching a unified digital currency yet, but are integrating Russia's digital ruble, China's digital yuan, and India's digital rupee into a combined payments infrastructure. The system is expected to be operational between 2026 and 2027, allowing direct conversions between national digital currencies, without Western bank intermediaries. The BRICS Pay platform will act as a messaging and settlement layer. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.